Thank you very much, Maria. Okay, now we have Rolf, who is Global Head of Entertainment at Vodafone. Vodafone, a little company you probably haven't heard of, but they, believe it or not, are number 2 or number 3, depending how you count it, in terms of pay TV subscriptions across all of Europe. They are that important. You've heard from Maria how the competition in this TV space has been really intensifying. The over-the-top guys, the streamers, putting a lot of pressure on. Given all of that, given the challenges, Rolf, how committed is Vodafone to remaining a player in the TV business?
Very committed, very committed. There is a great legacy attached to Vodafone, serving 22 million TV homes across 11 markets in Europe. And we spent a lot of time over the past couple of years to bring us into the right position, specifically internally. So we did a lot of acquisitions over the past couple of years into TV and fixed businesses. And 2.5 years back, we decided from a, let's say, market per market strategy perspective to change into a more harmonized global approach, or specifically pan-European approach, by setting up a new department within Vodafone Group that I'm heading, Group Entertainment. And since 2.5 years' time, we are heavily engaged in creating this more, let's say, holistic entertainment strategy, having created a global product management team, taking care for the product evolution of our Vodafone TV platform. We're negotiating our content contracts with international content providers centrally, together with our Vodafone procurement company. And we have harmonized all innovative initiatives in regards to our TV business out of group. So very committed, not only legacy-based, but specifically in regards to setting up the right organization with a clear plan for the future.
So give people here a flavor of which your major markets are geographically.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. So as many may know, so Germany, that's by far the biggest and most important market with roughly 3.4, 3.5 million homes that we serve. But there are other markets as well. So specifically, if we talk about our global entertainment platform, Vodafone TV, markets like Spain, Portugal are very important. And Vodafone TV has been deployed across 10 markets. And we are heavily growing in our Vodafone TV footprint, which makes us very proud.
Now, there's long been a kind of fear in the industry that operators, telcos in particular, will become little more than dumb pipes. They provide the pipe, albeit at high profit margins, because broadband is fantastically profitable. But how do you avoid just being the dumb pipe in this whole scenario? How do you bring something relevant to the party in terms of this entertainment business?
Yeah. Well, I think Vodafone in general is very well positioned in this regard. Dumb pipe, yeah, I see your point, but this is actually where a big strengths come from as well. So this huge customer base, 100 million connectivity subs, 22 million TV subs across Europe. And we've been working for a couple of years now on, let's say, extending our footprint from pure connectivity, which is clearly the DNA of Vodafone, into, let's say, topping up our connectivity products with relevant products and services. So we have created 4 different global product categories, focusing on smart tech, insurance, payment solutions, home ecosystems, and then not to forget entertainment products. And specifically on entertainment products, I think one of the key elements that we bring to the table is being complementary positioned to all these content services out there. So specifically, if we talk about OTT service providers, content service providers, We are full supportive in regards to their direct-to-consumer strategy. What we, however, can bring to the table is the complementary part by means of access to our connectivity base, our strong marketing and sales performance, and then working very closely with those OTT services providers in penetrating our customer bases with their products and services.
So is it just now about being an aggregator of other people's apps? Is it about being a so-called super aggregator?
That's probably a bit too easy. So super aggregation, yes, a full yes, but it's a bit more hybrid. So as we've just seen, so Maria have shared these great slides, presentations, pay TV, free TV, is that going to be dead? Probably not. A huge shift, that's for sure, over the past couple of years, the rise of OTT streamers, very valuable and relevant content, but there is still, let's say, across Europe, approximately 60% linear TV viewership share. And it's probably going to remain like this, which means our clear goal is actually to bring relevant content to our Vodafone homes as a hybrid solution. So a best of breed, best of blend across linear TV, all rights attached in regards to TV anytime, TV everywhere, but then topped up, complemented by best OTT services. So yeah, exactly, it's about super aggregation, but hybrid-wise, linear TV plus all the relevant OTT services.
But does that mean you're still providing pay channels yourself? Are you being a supplier, a service provider of pay channels as well as allowing these other apps onto your platform?
Yeah, so there's still a little bit of, let's say, legacy attached across markets, but from a more group Vodafone strategy perspective, it's really down to content aggregation. Linear pay TV channels that we would license, that we would package, price, market and sale, and in a combined way, including SVOD services. And in this regard, we really see us complementary to a direct-to-consumer approach.
So is it fair to say you are moving away from them?
No, we are not moving away from anyone. It's really about bringing everyone on board. It's about, let's say, all the relevant content, linear TV channels packaged. It's adding SVOD services into our propositions. And in the end, it's not only about, let's say, making them available. Direct-to-consumer products are kind of everywhere. We have all those like huge ecosystems like iOS, a Google Play Store, smart TV sets like Samsung. So the availability is there, but then the question is on how we translate the availability of SVOD services, linear TV channels into a unified experience that really delivers additional value to the customer. So we are actually embracing everyone and are offering via proposition, marketing and sales penetration of video products into our customer base.
And is the value add there in terms of the discoverability, the ease of use, the user experience? Is that what you're bringing?
That's key. So if we take a look at smart TVs or the ecosystems, as I just mentioned, services are available, but then the question is for every single customer on how to find the right content, how to access the right content. And as content sources are significantly increasing, the question is, or the question to answer is, what's the right content to offer for a customer? And having a closer look, let's say, into customer segmentations, our goal is actually via a single platform with a very bespoke, individualized discovery feature set to make sure that every single customer segment is perfectly served, from a family with kids to, let's say, a single household, a couple household, so fully fledged across the board. And it's all about discovery, exactly. Goes into proper metadata integration, a unified search across various content offerings, into a proper recommendation engine To be fair, those who are a little bit into content aggregation and platforms, it's not always that easy to convince OTT service providers to be, let's say, that open, but I think we are getting there. First of all, because of the fact we are complementary to the direct-to-consumer approach, and what we can offer is just, let's say, strong marketing and sales, and that's a perfect strategic fit.
So you are offering unified search across most of the apps you have?
Many of them.
Many
of them significantly improving.
Let's briefly touch on the commercial dimension to that. Who owns the customer when you have a Netflix or an Amazon on your platform?
Well, it depends. There are various business models that would actually exist. So everything could actually start with a pure reselling, so an OTT service that would be available, and a customer could access the content via existing credentials because the customer would have subscribed directly via the OTT service's webpage, for instance, to the service. This is how everything could start, and then it evolves. It could include Vodafone's direct carrier billing, for instance, so for a customer to easily subscribe and unsubscribe to OTT services, and to put OTT services on a Vodafone bill, which already creates, at least from our perspective, let's say, a bit more stickiness to the Vodafone environment. It's leveling a little bit the risk, the bad debt risk between OTT services as us. So we are already, let's say, a bit more engaged in sharing any risk attached. And we could then finish off with integrating OTT services into propositions. We've seen this slide by Maria on the various, let's say, bundling opportunities, soft bundling, down the road to hard bundling. And if we are talking hard bundling, the kind of explicit customer relationship, customer care and billing would be run via Vodafone. Ultimately, it remains a little bit a shared customer. A customer who would have subscribed to the OTT service A would be a subscriber to this OTT service, that's for sure, but in parallel, a proper subscriber to Vodafone as well.
So as an economic incentive to your customers, how important is bundling now?
Very important. I think it's one of the elements we can bring to the table as a customer benefit. So specifically, if we talk about, let's say, centralized negotiations, there is probably the chance of something like a bulk discount, where we can create a little bit of commercially beneficial setups for our customers. But then, and I don't want to repeat it too much, but growth for OTT services. All of them did a tremendous job over the past couple of years, but for additional growth, and we are now, let's say, a bit more advanced in regards to life cycle, product life cycle, service life cycle. I think the entire industry needs to get, let's say, a bit more creative. One of these elements could be OTT service stacking. So on average, an SVOD home would probably subscribe to something between like 1 to 3 services. But then the question is increasing number of OTT services, how to convince customers to, let's say, further top up with OTT services. And I think it's very interesting to see that many of these OTT services are currently, let's say, reviewing their strategy a bit towards ad-supported, ad-funded tiers.
Yep.
And for
sure, you're seeing that now.
I think we are seeing that now, exactly. And first of all, it's about, let's say, being a bit more flexible in regards to marketing and sales, and offering customers a lower entry price point, and then a lot easier for operators like Vodafone to bundle, and not only to create, let's say, a single tariff including a single OTT services, but probably going into the future a bit more, let's say, adding various OTT services into tariff bundles.
Historically, pay TV has, the success of pay TV has really depended upon offering customers exclusive content, and notably, and probably, the prime example here in the UK, being Sky with sports and football in particular, but sports content driving pay TV. Do you still think that exclusive content and sports in particular is the key driver for your business?
From a Vodafone perspective, not that much. But I have to admit, so Sky is doing a tremendous job, specifically in UK. That's for sure. Like so many others across other territories, we've had our experience as well in licensing exclusive sports rights, like in Spain, for instance, a couple of years back.
Yep.
These days, we are a lot more really in this complementary position of partnerships, licensing on a non-exclusive basis. We do believe that this is the right approach from a risk-reward profile from our perspective.
So it de-risks the business for you?
It's a bit like de-risking the business, exactly. And our strength is just a lot about the proposition, bundling, pricing, customer experience, customer service, and creating these more and more converged bundles out of connectivity and products and services. For this, in many of our markets, we don't think that there is a specific need for exclusivities, but it depends a little bit on the opportunities. And as many of you might be aware, in markets like Spain or Portugal, for instance, we've just recently concluded exclusive telco marketing partnerships with Warner on the product of HBO Max.
Yep.
So where needed, where helpful, where the risk-reward profile works, it's something that we can have a look into it. But in general, it's a lot more the non-exclusive path.
Last question, and then we must wrap up. What about actually investing in any original content of your own?
There are others, experts in this approach than Vodafone from our perspective. So production, co-production, exclusive content licensing, from our perspective, won't do the trick. It's nice to add a little bit of fairy dust to marketing and comms, but if it comes to really, let's say, an explicit customer product value, we would not believe in that.
Okay. We must leave it there. Thank you very much, Rolf.
Most welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.